Right, I'm with Jim Parmenter before the Chichester game. Been a very positive start to the season, all in all, hasn't it?
It has, Justin, yeah, on and off the pitch. Team looking really good, really positive start on the field. Lots of new commercial partners, sponsors coming on board and wanting to get involved. Some developments on the community aspects as well. So, yeah, really 100% positive.
Yeah, so let's just dive into that a little bit. So the sponsorship, just tell us what's happening there, who's getting involved, and what difference it's making.
Yeah, it's basically local businesses have come on board with the offers we've got. We've had 6 in the last 10 days that have come on board with a perimeter board and coming up for the lunch in the Premier Lounge. And it's quite a good atmosphere and quite a good little group that come up there now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've been away on a holiday. I was here for the Folkestone game, obviously a bumper crowd, and you filled up the hospitality. I mean, it was absolutely jam-packed in there.
Yeah, I'm not sure they were all invited, but I mean, that's another issue. Yeah, I mean, what a great day that was. I'm just so sorry to have missed it. But, 2,500 people, hospitality completely full. And I checked with people afterwards on email and they all said they had a great time. So that was a really fantastic experience.
Yeah, obviously we spoke about a month before the season, and obviously you went into depth about a few things. How are things shaping up so far? Would you say? I mean, what areas are significantly going well, and what things do you think can be improved on?
Well, we're always looking to improve. I mean, I think the cashless system, despite people's reservations, is working really well. I think we still got a little bit of work to do in the bar to try and get the service quicker. But when you've got 2,500 people to serve in an hour and a half, it's always going to be difficult. The pizza hut's going really well. The new pizza outlet that's going really well, very popular. On the community front, Vicky's getting involved in all sorts of things. We've got probably some announcements in the next couple of weeks on that. So there's a lot happening everywhere.
Now, obviously, you missed the Folkestone games. You say you were away on holiday, weren't you, in the sunshine? Yeah. How did you keep up to date with it all?
Well, unfortunately, I couldn't get anything other than live text, and then I got hold of the Folkestone radio commentary, which, to be fair, I won't say was biased, but it took some listening to on occasions.
Now, obviously, you were just talking about the pizza, the action, I think it's called, isn't it, over there in the corner. This is the second game that it's up and running. What's been the feedback on that, and what sort of pizza do you go for usually, Jim?
I'm not a pizza fan, to be honest, but I'll eat a margarita. Feedback's been really good because, of course, we're making them on site, but they're not bought in and frozen, and generally people are really enjoying them.
Yeah. One of the obviously the positive things in terms of the match day experience is people being able to have a drink around the ground, and I think today is the first match where a Dover Athletic, sort of quite a sturdy glass, not a glass but a plastic glass, is being launched. Just tell us about that and what's been the feedback on that so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's an idea I had. I was despairing to see the amount of plastic waste we were producing with all these flimsy plastic glasses. And it just occurred to me that a branded glass that you could be refilled and then used as a souvenir or brought back for another game was the way forward, and it's been very positively received so far.
You spoke earlier about queues and service. I think obviously the Folkestone game, I think it took everyone by surprise, the sheer number. I think maybe people were looking at 1,500 and actually 1,000 more turned up. So that presented challenges. What do you think you learned? I mean, obviously you weren't here, but what did the club learn from that?
If we'd have known it was that amount of people, we'd have probably gone all ticket rather than pay at the turnstile. I think with an evening game, the problem is that people, because they're working, tend to all turn up sort of between 20 to 7 and 7:30, and that presents its own challenges. It was a surprise. You can't serve 2,000 people behind the bar in an hour. It's just and do it well.
Yeah.
But we're looking at it to see what we can do to improve it.
Now, of course, the club's not going to get 2,500 every week. We all realise that. But actually, getting significant more numbers through the turnstiles does help in terms of what you're able to do here. Just explain, what can happen if, 500 more supporters turned up every week.
If you had 500 more supporters, that's 2 more players Jake can sign for the season, if you want to put it in simple terms. All the money that we make over and above what we budgeted for will go into strengthening the squad. Not that it needs strengthening that much at the moment. It's doing really well.
Just tell us a little bit about Jake. I mean, obviously he came in last season and he had a tough job, but these are his players, aren't they? This is his squad, and it's shaping up quite nicely, isn't it?
Yeah, as you know, I've known Jake since he was a kid, and he's got the right ethic. He doesn't want any nonsense. He doesn't want any histrionics or cheating. He doesn't want dissent. What he wants is players that want to play for the club play hard, and really go for it. And I think that's what we're seeing on the pitch.
Yeah. Have you been impressed by the amount of goodwill that the club is having this summer and so far? It's been quite good. I mean, we all know it's a results business, and when results are going well, there's a lot more goodwill than the other way around. But generally, do you feel that vibe, Jim?
Yeah, I think we've kind of taken a different approach because there's more of a team around us now in terms of people that are prepared to get involved, yourself included, and that means that we're able to sort of project what we're about a lot more. And I think that's what we were failing to do before. And of course, negativity breeds negativity.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I got involved is I think the community thing's fantastic, and I think clubs need volunteers, and obviously I'm volunteering along with lots of others, and you really do need those people, don't you? That's what builds clubs like this at non-league level.
Without them, we wouldn't be able to run the club. I mean, this is a big stadium, and it's very costly to run compared with other teams in the division. But we like it, we love it, but it does need an army of people to keep it running on match days, and clean and tidy and maintained off match days. And we've got a good crew of people that do it, but we're always looking for more.
Now, something I do want to talk to you about is the 200 Club, because obviously that's not got off the ground at the moment, and I've seen comments on the fans forum about it. What can you tell us about that? I think that there hasn't been a great take-up as there in terms of the numbers. You need 200. I think, was it less than 100 even?
Yeah, about 80.
Yeah.
I think the feedback I've been hearing from the guys that are doing it is that people don't think it's attractive enough at £10 a month to win £1,000, and I kind of get that, but it's about supporting the club. There's been a suggestion that we should reduce it to £5 a month. The problem with that is, to make it work, we need 500 members. And at the moment, I'm just not confident we can get 500 members, but we're going to take a look at that.
Yeah, because you are talking to people, you are consulting fans.
Yeah,
and
we've got somebody looking at it all the time. But there are rules, and there's only a point of doing it if we're going to earn some money for the football club.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to dive in just slightly with you today is the all-weather playing pitch. We touched on it in the earlier interview. Just tell us exactly what happened, because you were trying to get one round the back there, weren't you?
I had a pretty good plan going, and backing of the council, as I thought. And then there was a meeting at the council which I wasn't at, and nor was the principal that was dealing with it at the council, and with Sport England, and they told Sport England that they weren't going to back the project without telling the football club. And then, of course, Sport England withdrew their backing, and that was the end of that, which was very, very disappointing.
Very disappointing. But you've not given up on it, have you, completely?
No, we're always looking. I mean, we've got other pitches around the town that we're looking at. It's very hard to get somewhere to have a football pitch because people will think the land's going to be developed. But we are trying still to get a 3G at the back there, but it's all about finance now.
Yeah, and as I say, obviously we're a few games into the season now, in the Isthmian League again. How are you finding the standard so far, and sort of your own matchday experience, Jim?
Oh, I mean, it's enjoyable. Football's good. I think the standard's really high in the Isthmian League. I don't think anybody should underestimate. I mean, we've played 3 good sides. Potter's Bar was an 8-0, but I tell you what, they're not a bad side. They won the next week.
Beat Dartford.
Beat Dartford the following week. Folkestone, I think we were a bit unlucky with refereeing decisions, and it's pretty even, but a good side. And Billericay, we played away and drew 1-1. They're one of the favourites to win it. So, and there's a few other tough teams in it. It's a good standard.
But we've been written off by the bookies. I saw it at like 20-1. I couldn't believe that price, because it's a bit of an unknown what we are really in terms of this division. Were you surprised by those odds, or are you actually quite happy that we've been written off?
I don't really look at. I'm not allowed to bet, Justin.
You're not allowed.
You can have a bet, but I'm not allowed to. But I don't take too much notice of bookies' odds. They don't mean a lot.
Yeah. What are your expectations being realistic this season? I think it was about consolidation, really, wasn't it? Because it's been a couple of really horrific years. It's just good to win some football matches again.
Yeah, I'm very careful not to have too many expectations, or if I've got them, I keep them to myself. I just like to see us play entertaining football, get out there in the community, entertain the crowds, make it a nice experience. And if we finish in the top 10, great.
And can I just ask you, if the club ever get to a position, either this season or in a future season, where you're there or thereabouts, is there scope sometimes to step in and, there might be like one player to get you across the line?
There is, if we get the support from the supporters.
Yeah.
The budget's spent as I know it, but if we get 200 or 300 more on the gate, that's available to bring in some extra power.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Jim, for joining us.
Thank you.